They say everything is bigger in Texas, and they're not wrong. From the sprawling oil fields that fuel America's engines to the massive military bases that protect its freedom, Texas isn't just a state, it's a powerhouse. A land so vast, so independent, and so influential that if it were a country, it would be one of the largest economies on Earth. This is the story of how the Lone Star State became the beating heart of America's energy and the backbone of its military strength. Long before Texas joined the Union, it carried itself with the pride of a nation. In fact, it was one. The Republic of Texas was born in 1836 after settlers declared independence from Mexico, forging a brief but unforgettable history as its own sovereign country. For nearly a decade, Texas stood alone, defending its borders, writing its constitution, and raising its flag, the Lone Star, a symbol that still waves with unmatched pride today. When Texas entered the United States in 1845, it didn't do so quietly. It brought with it nearly 270,000 square miles of land, an economy built on cattle and cotton, and a fierce culture of independence. Texans didn't see themselves as just Americans. They saw themselves as Texans first, citizens of a land so big and bold that it could shape the destiny of an entire nation. Geography gave Texas its unique power. Stretching from the Gulf of Mexico deep into the desert Southwest, Texas was a crossroads of America. Its ports connected it to the world, its fertile plains fed millions, and its open ranges bred a culture of toughness. Cowboys, oilmen, and soldiers, Texas produced them all, and each became part of the state's mythos. But it wasn't just land or culture that gave Texas influence, it was attitude. The Texan spirit of self-reliance became legendary, shaping how the state approached everything from business to politics. Texans were known for doing things their way, whether Washington liked it or not. That rebellious streak didn't just define Texas, it helped define America. Even the state's motto, "Friendship," is wrapped in power. It reflects not weakness, but strength, an unshakable confidence that Texas could extend a hand of friendship because it knew it had the strength to defend itself if needed. And that confidence has always been justified. Texas's identity as both a former nation and a proud state created something unique, a place that Americans admire, envy, and sometimes even fear. Ask any Texan where they're from, and they'll answer with pride, Texas, as if no other explanation is needed. That pride isn't arrogance, it's history, it's culture, and it's the foundation of why Texas became America's energy capital and its military stronghold. As the 20th century dawned, Texas was ready to transform. Beneath its soil lay a secret that would change not only Texas, but the entire United States: oil. The discovery of black gold would turn dusty fields into booming cities, cowboys into oil barons, and Texas into the energy engine of the world. And soon the same vast lands that fed cattle and drilled oil would become home to America's largest military installations. The Lone Star State was about to prove that its power wasn't just cultural, it was tangible, measurable, and world-changing. If the spirit of Texas was forged in independence, its wealth and power were built on oil. At the dawn of the 20th century, Texas was still a land of cattle drives, cotton fields, and frontier towns. But beneath that dusty soil lay a hidden treasure, one that would not only reshape the state, but also fuel the rise of America itself. It all began in 1901 at a place called Spindletop near Beaumont. Drillers struck oil, and what erupted from the ground shocked the world. A geyser of black crude exploded into the air, gushing tens of thousands of barrels a day. The discovery was so massive, so sudden, that it transformed Texas overnight. Spindletop wasn't just an oil strike, it was a revolution. Before Spindletop, the world relied on coal and whale oil. After Spindletop, petroleum became king, and Texas, with its seemingly endless reserves, became the crown jewel of America's new energy empire. Within a few years, oil fields spread across the state, and new cities rose to support the boom. Houston, once a modest town, transformed into the capital of the oil industry. Dallas and Fort Worth grew wealthy on pipelines and refineries. Tiny towns became overnight metropolises, each one a testament to the power of oil. But the impact went far beyond Texas. Oil from the Lone Star State fueled the automobiles that defined the 20th century. It powered the factories of the industrial age, kept the trains moving, and later supplied the planes and tanks that won 2 world wars. Every gallon of gas, every barrel of oil that left Texas was more than just fuel. It was a piece of America's dominance in the modern age. The oil barons of Texas became legends in their own right. Men like H.L. Hunt, Clint Murchison, and Glenn McCarthy built fortunes that rivaled royalty. Their mansions, skyscrapers, and business empires symbolized not just personal success, but the wealth of an entire state. The term Texas oilman became synonymous with power, risk-taking, and a larger-than-life lifestyle. Yet for all its wealth, Texas never saw oil as just an economic resource. It was a source of identity. Pump jacks became as iconic as cowboy hats, and oil derricks stood tall against the horizon like monuments to progress. Texans understood that oil wasn't just about money, it was about independence. Control the energy, and you control the future. The influence of Texas oil stretched all the way to Washington, D.C. Politicians courted Texas magnates, knowing that energy policy could shape the nation's destiny. Oil revenues funded universities, highways, and even space exploration. When President John F. Kennedy declared America would reach the moon, it was Houston's mission control that guided the astronauts. That connection wasn't an accident. It was built on the wealth and influence of Texas energy. Of course, oil brought challenges too. Booms led to busts, fortunes rose and fell with the price of crude, and the environment bore scars from decades of drilling. But Texans embraced that risk as part of the deal. For them, oil wasn't just an industry, it was a way of life, one that mirrored the state's rugged, risk-taking culture. Even today, Texas remains America's energy giant. The state produces more oil and natural gas than any other, and its refineries keep the nation moving. But Texas has also embraced the future. It leads in wind power and ranks among the top in solar, proving that the same state that built America's oil empire is also shaping the next generation of energy. From Spindletop's first gusher to modern wind farms stretching across the plains, Texas has powered America's rise. Energy is more than just Texas's legacy. It's its gift to the nation, a reminder that when America needed fuel for its ambitions, Texas provided it in abundance. If oil made Texas the engine of America's economy, its vast land and strategic location made it the backbone of America's defense. Today, Texas is home to more military installations than any other state, and together they form the single largest armed stronghold in the nation. When America flexes its military might, chances are the muscle comes from Texas. The story begins with geography. Texas covers more than 268,000 square miles, larger than France, nearly twice the size of Germany. That sheer size gave the U.S. military room to build bases that couldn't exist anywhere else. Flat plains, open skies, and vast stretches of uninhabited land created the perfect training grounds for soldiers, pilots, and tanks. Add to that a long coastline along the Gulf of Mexico and proximity to Latin America, and Texas wasn't just convenient, it was essential. Fort Hood, located in central Texas, is perhaps the most famous. Established during World War II, it grew into one of the largest military bases in the world. Tens of thousands of soldiers have trained there, preparing for conflicts from Korea to Iraq. Tanks rumble across its training grounds, helicopters slice through its skies, and entire brigades sharpen their skills before deploying overseas. Fort Hood isn't just a base, it's a city of soldiers, a place where America's defenders are forged. Then there's Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, known as the gateway to the Air Force. Every enlisted airman begins their career there, enduring basic training under the sweltering Texas sun. From the Vietnam War to modern conflicts, generations of airmen have taken their first steps at Lackland, proving that when America rules the skies, Texas is where it begins. San Antonio itself is nicknamed Military City, USA, and for good reason. It hosts Joint Base San Antonio, which combines Fort Sam Houston, Lackland, and Randolph Air Force Base into one massive complex. Fort Sam is the Army's premier medical training facility, turning out combat medics who save lives on battlefields around the world. Randolph trains pilots, ensuring America's air dominance. Together, they make San Antonio one of the most critical hubs in America's defense network. But Texas's military story doesn't stop there. Corpus Christi houses naval air stations, where pilots learn to land fighter jets on runways before braving the decks of aircraft carriers. El Paso is home to Fort Bliss, a massive base near the Mexican border that trains armored divisions and houses missile defense systems. Even the Texas coast is dotted with installations vital to America's naval power. The presence of these bases has shaped Texas itself. Entire towns grew around them, filled with veterans, military families, and industries that supply the armed forces. The economy of Texas thrives not only on oil, but also on the billions of dollars that flow from defense contracts, aerospace companies, and military spending. Beyond the bases, Texas also contributes something less tangible but equally powerful: culture. The Texas spirit, rugged, independent, and proud, matches perfectly with the ethos of America's military. Many of the nation's top generals, pilots, and soldiers have come from Texas, carrying that Lone Star pride into every mission. And then there's the Texas National Guard, one of the largest and most active in the country. Whether responding to hurricanes along the Gulf Coast, wildfires in the plains, or deployments overseas, the Guard embodies Texas's role as both protector of its people and defender of the nation. Put it all together, and Texas becomes more than just a state with military bases. It is the shield of the United States, the place where soldiers are trained, strategies are tested, and strength is projected. From the deserts of Fort Bliss to the skies above Randolph, Texas stands ready. When America goes to war, Texas goes first. The Lone Star doesn't just shine on its own, it lights the way for the entire U.S. military. Texas has always been a land of big ideas and bold action, but today its influence stretches far beyond oil fields and military bases. The Lone Star State has evolved into a hub of innovation, culture, and economic power, cementing its role as a backbone of America's greatness. Consider Houston, the city that put America on the moon. NASA's Johnson Space Center trained astronauts, managed Apollo missions, and continues to lead in human spaceflight. From the first lunar landing to modern missions on the International Space Station, Houston has been the proving ground for American ingenuity and ambition. The city itself pulses with the energy of engineers, scientists, and dreamers who carry the Texan spirit into the cosmos. Dallas and Austin tell a different story, one of technology and entrepreneurship. Austin, dubbed the Silicon Hills, is now home to startups, tech giants, and creative innovators. Texas is no longer just about drilling oil. It's about coding software, designing renewable energy solutions, and shaping industries that define the future. From electric vehicles to AI research, Texas proves that the same state that powered America with oil now fuels its technological ambitions. And yet, Texas's pride isn't only about big cities. Its vast rural landscapes, farms, and ranches continue to provide resources and food for the nation. Blending tradition with modernity, cowboys still ride the plains, oil rigs still pump, and wind turbines stretch across the horizon, a testament to a state that balances heritage with progress. Texas energy is now diversified: wind, solar, natural gas, and oil, all powering the nation while showing the world that Texas innovation adapts and endures. Education and research also reinforce Texas's power. Institutions like the University of Texas, Texas A&M, Rice, and SMU produce engineers, doctors, scientists, and leaders who push America forward. The state invests in talent, in ideas, and in leadership, creating a cycle where Texas not only contributes resources, but also shapes the minds that will run the country. Culturally, Texas remains iconic. Music, sports, cuisine, and festivals draw attention worldwide, giving Americans something to celebrate at home and showcase abroad. From high school football stadiums packed to the brim, to rodeos and BBQ competitions, the state blends pride with identity, making Texan culture synonymous with American strength and independence. Politically, Texas holds clout. Its size and population make it a key player in national elections and policymaking, influencing decisions that affect the entire country. Its economy alone ranks among the world's top economies, making it a powerhouse that rivals entire nations. Combine that with its military, energy, and technological impact, and Texas emerges as a state that doesn't just participate in America's story, it writes it. In the end, Texas is more than a state. It's a symbol, a land of opportunity, a place where ambition meets resource, where courage meets innovation, and where history meets the future. From the Lone Star flag waving above its plains to the rockets soaring from its space centers, Texas reminds America and the world that greatness isn't given. It's earned, built, and defended. And no state embodies that spirit more than the Lone Star State. Texas doesn't just power America, it inspires it, it protects it, and it proves that the heart of the United States beats strongest in the land where pride, power, and progress converge.